Again, good morning, everybody. Mikey Anderson with American Independent Marketing here this morning, along with our good friend Linda Fabian from LifeSecure. We will be starting in just a minute. Just letting everybody know as you get in and logged in, we are recording this, so we are in lecture mode. Be sure and enter in your 1- or 2-digit audio PIN code so that when we get to the end of the presentation that we're able to engage everybody in a question and answer session. So we will start in just a minute. Okay, let's do this. Again, good morning. Mikey Anderson from American Independent Marketing. I'm joined by our friend Linda Fabian, the National Account Manager from LifeSecure. Linda is our primary point of contact. She helps us when we need things, and she's a great resource for us in terms of being able to get real in-depth information, a real in-depth look at LifeSecure's products and their technology. And I think Linda's going to talk a little bit about some of both of those, but mostly we are going to spend time today reviewing their newer product, they call it LTCII with Shareability. So we're really excited to have this as an opportunity. You should be too. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Linda. Good morning, Linda. Appreciate you making your time available.
Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. I sure appreciate it. And for all of you who have joined this morning on the call and for your interest in LifeSecure, we appreciate that as well. Again, I'm Linda Fabian. I'm the Director of National Accounts over here at LifeSecure. I've been here for a little over 5 years now and have been in a position here to certainly watch a startup company grow into a very fast-growing, exciting company with a whole lot of traction. We've certainly started 2014 off with a bang, and I'm anxious to share with you today some of the reasons why we've been successful, our new product, and our technology features, which really set us apart from the competition. So you may or may not know that LifeSecure started in 2006. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Again, getting into that business that many years ago, as you could well imagine, there was a lot of competition at the time. We had a very high-priced product at the time, so we didn't get a lot of shelf space with the entities we were working with. But as the years have gone by and some carriers have dropped out of the market and the other carriers that are still remaining have increased their prices, you know, we started to get our share of the business. And we've been successful and seem as though we have a great chance of moving forward in this world of long-term care because, you know, we really don't have the legacy business that the other carriers have. You know, we started fresh in this business in 2006. We started with a technology platform, which I'll be sharing with you today. You know, we've never had an unlimited contract at LifeSecure, you know, the lifetime contracts. We've never had one of those that go on and on. So we can completely put our arms around our risk at LifeSecure. And we got in the business when the interest rate environment was low. So we priced our product accordingly. So those couple of things make us real different in this market. We've had our first refresh, which happened in February of this year, our first pricing adjustment, if you will, and a couple of new product features, which I'll be sharing with you shortly here. But it's really our technology component that sets us apart. I just came back from the LTCII conference in Florida, and we were an exhibitor, of course, but I had an opportunity to sit in on quite a few of the sessions, and boy, LifeSecure got a shout out from the competitors as well as various agencies and agents during many of the sessions that I attended because we are set apart so differently from the others. you'll see that we're a paperless system. So everything we take is completely done online at LifeSecure. So everything that comes in the LifeSecure system is 100% accurate. It can't be anything less than that. And I actually sat in a panel discussion with a competitor who made mention of the fact that 95% of the apps that come in with them happen to have errors on them. So I was shocked that the number was so great, but certainly pleased that at LifeSecure we're able to provide 100% accuracy on those apps that come in, because we don't allow you, the agent, to enter anything less than 100% accurate apps. And I think you'll see that as we go through some of the demo today. But I did want to share with you our product, which I'm hopeful it's on the screen. I hope, Mike, we were successful in moving the dial over to see my screen. You should have the plan.
We're looking at plan at glance right now.
Perfect. You should have the plan at a glance on the screen in front of you. And I'm just going to go through this real quickly and then pivot over to our online technology. We've made a couple of adjustments. If you've looked at LifeSecure before, we used to issue up to the age of 85, and we've dropped that a little bit to the age of 79, so we're 18 to 79. We offer lifetime and 10-pay premium payment option. So I believe we're the only carrier still in that 10-pay space. When you do select 10-pay, I can give you a footnote on that, you must select an inflation option when you select a 10-pay option. Our benefit banks now go between $100,000 and $1 million, and anywhere in between in $1 increments. Our old policy went down to $75,000, so that sure wasn't much benefit, so we just ratcheted that up a little bit to $100,000. So we go $100,000 to $1 million, and anywhere in between in $1 increments. So you make that as a selection on the LifeSecure product. The next selection one makes is the monthly benefit distribution, 1%, 2%, or 3%. So how much of that bucket of money do you want available to you on a monthly basis when and if you go and claim? 1%, 2%, or 3%. Little footnote there, 1% has been our sweet spot and continues to be our sweet spot from a pricing standpoint. Should you select 1%, the 1% bucket would last 8.3 years if you used it at that rate during your claim period. 2% will last 4.3 years, and 3% will last 2.8 years. So we, of course, have moved away from the 3-year, 4-year, 5-year benefits, if you will, but we do give you the selection of 1%, 2%, or 3% for your selection for your benefit amount. So the two choices you make with LifeSecure are the benefit bank and how do you want it distributed. So we make it pretty simple for you. We build in an awful lot of the other components. For example, we build in a flexible benefit. That flexible benefit gives you an opportunity to use up to 50% of your unused monthly benefit to pay a family member or a neighbor or an unlicensed, uncertified caregiver, and that family member could even be inclusive of your spouse. So folks really like this benefit in so much as it's a look and feel like cash, although it's still a reimbursement model. We call it our flexible benefit, and everyone gets this. In the example here, it shows a $5,000 monthly benefit. So if you had a $500,000 bucket at a 1% distribution, you would have a $5,000 monthly benefit. You used licensed care for $2,000, and you had $3,000 left as your unused monthly benefit. Your flexible benefit would have you would have the opportunity to use 50% of that for unlicensed care or to pay a family member or a spouse, if you will. So if you didn't have any licensed care that month, you could use up to 50% of the monthly benefit, and that would be $2,500. So it's dependent on, again, if If not, you use licensed care in the same month, but we are the one carrier that does give you the opportunity to use both. So that's the flexible benefit. It can also be used for construction of different things on your home, wheelchair ramps, installing grab bars, things like that. So that's the flexible benefit. Again, it's a standard feature with LifeSecure, and everyone gets that. Another standard feature with LifeSecure is the guaranteed future purchase option. So as I mentioned before, one selects their bucket of money, the way they want it distributed, 1%, 2%, or 3%, and they will receive the GPO, the guaranteed future purchase option. That gives you the opportunity every 3 years to increase your benefit by 15% without going through the evidence of insurability. That goes all the way until you reach the age of 80 or you go on claim. All the way until you reach the age of 80 or you go on claim. So what that means is if you buy this at 50, you can pass on it multiple times. You can pass on it at 53, 56, 59, 62, but you might ratchet it up once you get to 65 or 68. So we do allow you to pass on that multiple times all the way till you reach the age of 80 or you go on claim. So another unique feature at LifeSecure. The next item on the list here is the benefit wait period, the elimination period. The elimination period is 90 days, and it's a 90-day calendar elimination period. Again, everyone gets that, and there is not a choice on that. So everyone gets a 90-day calendar elimination period starting the date of diagnosis. So a little bit different on that as well. The newer feature that we've added is the international coverage benefit. Again, a standard feature. It allows you to receive benefits out of the country for as much as 365 days. So it's going to pay 100% for facility care and 50% for home or community-based care. Again, built into the contract. Waiver of premium, of course, a component of the policy, except when you're using the international benefit. If you're using the international benefit, you will not have a waiver of premium. Pretty standard features, Care Advisor, as you've seen with other carriers. Our spousal discounts have changed a little bit at LifeSecure from our old contract, if you're familiar with that. In our new world at LifeSecure, with the LifeSecure 2.0 product, both the applicant and the spouse must apply, so we need to have 2 applications coming in and approved in order to receive the 30% discount for each person. So if you're married and your spouse is not applying, or your spouse is uninsurable or has been declined, you will not get a discount. And there are some caveats to that in different states, and that's outlined there. We'll make sure everyone on the call gets a copy of our plan at a glance, so you can go through this a little bit in a little bit more detail. A couple of optional riders that I wanted to highlight would be, of course, we're offering compound inflation, 3% and 5%. We're offering a new optional rider, the shared care rider. So this has been something in our 6 or 7 years in existence with our old product that folks really asked us to include in the next phase of LifeSecure. So we're happy to say that we do have a shared care rider now. The way it works is the husband and wife each have separate contracts, right? They have separate contracts. Should one pass away and not use their policy, that bucket of money is transferred to the surviving spouse. Or if one person does get sick, they can tap into the other person's policy and utilize their benefits. They must leave in the healthy spouse's bucket at least 1 year of coverage. The maximum benefit that you can use when you combine shared care, when you select shared care, is a maximum of $750,000 per person. And as a footnote to that comment about shared care, our product is priced really well for a shared care rider. It adds just 3% to the policy when you select the 1% bucket. So if we're thinking about where LifeSecure sweet spots are, again, it's the 1% distribution, and if you have a couple buying LifeSecure policy at 1%, I would always include the shared care rider because it is priced so well just by adding 3% to that benefit. Money back promise, we had this before. It remains the same. It's our version of the guarantee coming back should one pass. We never give 100% back, so it's priced accordingly. We give back 25% if your policy has been in force 5 years and you pass, 50% back in years 10 through 14, and then 75% back if you've lived 15 years or beyond, and then that goes back into your estate like a life insurance check. Again, it's priced accordingly. We don't see that this is a real popular rider. I've watched some executive carve-outs, some employer-paid cases add something like that. The non-forfeiture benefit, it's on there basically because it has to be. It's required by law that we have a non-forfeiture benefit, typically not used, or not purchased, rather. So let's see, a couple more things here, just some footnotes, probably in the time we have today, not worth going over too much more here. So I wanted to just get through the actual plan at a glance, and wanted to show you where we do have this product available. Here's our current map, and you'll see that we've pretty much covered the country with our product. I think it's 44 states that we are now in. This map says it's effective April 1st of 2014. That's because Indiana is moving over on April 1st. So if you happen to be in the state of Indiana, you still have our old product for another, what would it be, 9 or 10 days. But then we will have our 2.0 product in Indiana. We have just now been approved in Connecticut. That's new news. It's kind of in a light purple color there. It says pending approval, but it has been approved. We do not have a launch date for Connecticut yet. We're waiting for the marketing materials to be approved in that state. We have never had product in Connecticut and the New England states, so we're excited about our first entry into that market. We're very close on New Jersey and Vermont as well. Florida will lag behind, as will Hawaii. California is a state where we did have product approved not all that long ago, a year and a half ago. I guess it'll be 2 years, up and coming in July. We have not refiled in California. It is not our intent to immediately refile in California. The New England states, just to give you a handle on that as well, some of the others up there, we're expecting Maine and New Hampshire. Massachusetts and New York will lag behind. So those are a couple of others. We've had an exclusive in the state of Kansas, and that will be removed before too long as well. So we'll have better opportunities in the state of Kansas, and that kind of gives you the rundown of the map there. A footnote to that also is, you may or may not know this, LifeSecure is signing state. Signing state. So if you're a resident of the state of New York, and you cross over into Pennsylvania and you sign a policy in an application in Pennsylvania, you would of course be signing a Pennsylvania application, but it would certainly be usable in the state of New York or elsewhere in the country. So we are signing state. So we find that to be different than what we hear our competitors are doing. So wanted to make mention of that as well. All right, that's the map. Moving now over to, again, our LifeSecure website. This is the LifeSecure website. I'm currently in what we call a model office environment, so I'll be able to play around with the system a little bit to show you some things that we actually can't do in a live site, or they'll be thinking that we're actually entering a real a real application. But it is www.yourlifesecure.com. Gives you the opportunity to enter as an agent, a policyholder, or of course we have some worksite opportunities as well, and I could touch on that if we have time as we get through this. But you log on as an agent, and again, I'm in a training site, so I'll be logging on as Tamara Training. Okay. And it then gives you the opportunity to do lots of things. It gives you an opportunity to quote. It gives you an opportunity to look at your own business. It gives you the opportunity to jump into some applications. It gives you the opportunity to download PDFs of marketing materials. It allows you to download an application. There's some training tools here as well. Gives you some information on the multi-life program. But today I wanted to concentrate on our technology and as it relates to the applications. So to enter a new application with LifeSecure, doing it completely online, you would go here to New Application. And it'll ask you a couple of things early on here. Is it an individual or a worksite or association client? We're going to work through the individual site right now. What state are we in? I'll select the state I'm in, which is Arizona. And the product that we're going to be entering today is a long-term care app. It will ask you early on if you've ever applied for a LifeSecure policy before. It'll give the indication of no. And then you will enter the applicant's Social Security number and their birth date. The next item here is important as to how the entire application will be taken. Are we going to be doing an electronic signature, which is what I'd like to show you today? Are we going to be doing a voice authorization, or are we going to be doing a wet signature? And those are the three options you have with LifeSecure. Because our newest form of entering an app is with the electronic signature, that's what I like to show you today. We also have an opportunity to do a voice signature, which entails dialing an 800 number, which is a computer, whereby you, the agent, have a component where you answer a couple of questions, and your applicant answers a couple of questions. And after you deal with the computer at the other end of our 800 line, the computer then generates for you a 7 or 8 digit number that then you put on the application, and that is your voice authorization stamp allowing you to move through the application process. A wet signature would be taken if you took a paper application from your client. Of course, they're signing the application in several places, right? And as I've mentioned earlier, we don't take paper at LifeSecure. What you would be required to do is come back to your office and actually enter that application in the system under your portal. So if you do that, then you'll be checking that last box, and you'll be entering the application, pulling the information off the paper app that you've taken, entering it in the system, and then upon submitting it, you will also fax the entire application to LifeSecure. We will match up then the signatures on the faxed application, with what you've entered in your portal, and then the policy will move forward. But what we see is the most high-tech feature, and what people have been asking for is what I'm going to show you today, which is that electronic signature. And by checking this box, it will move this application forward, expecting that in the long run, I will be doing the electronic signature with my client. The first page of the application are what we generally would call the kill questions, right? And in most cases, all of your customers are going to be no's to these questions for the most part. If they're going to say yes to the fact that some of these things pertain to them, then we're not going to be able to underwrite them for long-term care. But you'll see we ask these questions first, and then we ask the question related to their personal information, their name, their address, etc. So what I did this morning prior to visiting with you on the call today is I did an app and I saved one so we can save time, and I'm not entering it as we go through here. I entered an app, and I'm going to take you to that one now. As you enter an app with us, wherever you stop, it automatically saves. You cannot go back any further than what you're seeing here. I'm in the first section here. You cannot go back to the insurability questions. Once you've entered them and answered them, you cannot go back to them. But you can go back as far as the applicant's information. So that's what I'm pulling up here. This is the first page of the application. Again, it looks and feels very much like any long-term care app that you've done before. A couple of things I might make note of here is everything comes in 100% accurate, as I had mentioned before. For example, if I put in a different zip code that is not a Scottsdale, Arizona zip code, it'll reject that. That has to be accurate. If you put in the wrong number of digits for a Social Security number, it'll reject that. If I've missed anything on here at all along the way, it'll reject that page and push me back so that I must enter everything accurately. You'll notice here in the middle, would you like to receive your policy in a paper format, via mail, or electronic? Again, LifeSecure is the one company that today is can send your policy electronically. Okay, taking you to the next page of the application. The coverage selection. How much of a policy would you like? What is the monthly benefit amount? Have I selected any inflation protection? Again, going through this. Just the coverage selections on that page. Physician's information, again, smart app. I'll draw your attention to the question, have you seen a physician in the last 2 years? And the footnote to that is that if you haven't, LifeSecure will reject your application. So you do need to have seen a physician in the last 2 years. Even if it's getting a quick once-over with height and weight and blood pressure and making sure the meds are up to date, that's good enough. But again, you must see a physician within a 2-year period. That's something that sometimes hangs people up, and I wanted to point that out. Health history. Again, for the purposes of this application, I indicated that there were no health issues. Should we indicate that there would be a health issue, it would then ask us to populate more information as it relates to that particular health issue. So again, a smart app and it won't allow you to get beyond any of the questions. Additional health history, again, pretty standard. Should I have selected that there were prescription medications, it would then ask me what was the medication, the dose, who was the prescribing physician, etc. But again, for the ease of getting through this and getting to the signature page, I've indicated no. Again, lifestyle information, pretty standard. Have a look, see it, again, the standard questions there. Protection against unattended lapse, I indicated I do not designate. Should I have elected, I elect to designate, then it'll give me, of course, the space to put that information in as well. Premium payment. You can select the rate class that you've quoted. You can then also select how this individual is going to pay their premium. Important that LifeSecure has funds in-house before we start the underwriting process. My recommendation on that would be to always take a credit card or an EFT to allow the application to be processed. If we gather, by way of gathering this information on this application, the credit card information or the EFT information, we will begin the underwriting process. We will not ding the credit card nor take the EFT info until the policy is approved, but it will start the underwriting process. Should you elect to send a check, we will wait until that check comes in-house before we start the underwriting process. A footnote to that would be, should the client elect to ultimately write a check, let's start the process with a credit card or an EFT and then switch it over to direct bill, paying with the check as we go through the process. Again, we want to get you the quickest turnaround time possible. We're really known for that in the industry, and we will do that by virtue of having the funds in-house sooner rather than later. So I would recommend, again, either the credit card or the EFT. I selected direct bill on this one because if I selected credit card or EFT, it would ask me to insert that information, which I don't have handy, and it wouldn't allow me to continue forward. So I've selected direct bill. I've selected an annual payment. You know, another point I'd like to make on this is you may notice that we have no modal premium upcharges. So one of the little hints there, we have no modal premium upcharges. I know we'd all like to get an annual premium with each and every policy that we place, but it might be good to know that that monthly premium is really 1/12 of the annual premium. So again, a little bit different. Replacement, again, pretty standard there. They're typically no's. The agent statement, again, a lot of this will be pre-populated for you. You've entered in your agent portal as you're entering this application, so a lot of this will be pre-populated. If you're splitting the case, it gives you an opportunity to put the other agent in there as well. Personal worksheet. The personal worksheet will be pre-populated with the premium amount monthly and then annually. I would caution you if you are taking a paper app. This is one of the areas where people often miss. If you take a paper app and you're going to end up faxing it to us, please remember to always write in the premium amount and on a monthly basis and a yearly basis. That's one that tends to get kicked back a good bit, so just kind of a little hint there. And then another hint as it relates to LifeSecure is, should you choose not to complete the information, you know, we all have that option to not complete the information, LifeSecure will not come back to you to request this information again. You know, so depending on how you position your questioning of your applicant, again, trying to help you get through this, maybe even a little more expeditiously. As we all know, the insurance department is requesting that this information be filled out, but if the client is not interested in filling out that information, they can choose not to complete it, and then LifeSecure will let it go with just the one indication that they're willing not to complete that information. There are 2 states, it might be 3, where we do absolutely require that it be filled out. Colorado, Indiana, and I believe the other one is Wisconsin. So there are three states where we do require it, but as a normal course of business, if you choose, I select not to complete this information, we will move forward without coming back to your client again. Okay, now we're finally at that signature page. So, iAgent at this point, please turn the screen control over to the applicant for signature. So I, the agent, certify that the applicant will be completing the applicant signature sections. So I've checked that box. We then give you the acknowledgement that you've received all of these items. The boxes need to be checked. And by doing so, send by email. All of these will be sent via email. So isn't that great? You need not carry around shopper's guides for long-term care anymore. They can all be sent to your applicant via email. And you probably noticed earlier that we did capture the email address. So these will just go automatically to your applicant. Today's date, and we go next. Okay, here's our first signature. You can select to type it or draw it with the mouse. So I'm going to select that we type it. And it was Oliver, I think I said Oliver Smith, right? So it turns into cursive there. We're selecting today's date. We're going to send them the form by email. And we also give you now the opportunity to have the applicant authorize LifeSecure to disclose their personal health information to you, the agent, as it relates to the underwriting. So we're going to check that too. This now is the acknowledgement of the possibility of a rate increase. We're going to type that one as well. That, of course, is again today's date. And where am I signing my application? We're going to say it's signed in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's an Arizona app. So if I tried to sign this in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it would kick me out because I have an Arizona app here. So again, it's all dependent on where you're actually signing the application. Okay, so that's it for the applicant signatures. The very last page then takes you to the agent statements and signatures. We're going to type that again. So I'm in the training site. So the training agent's name was Tamara Training. So as is typical, a couple of signatures from the applicant and a couple of signatures from the agent. This is a newly added feature on our applications as well. You know, if you had any particular remarks that you wanted to add about the applicant, maybe you had called Underwriting prior to doing the application, you wanted to reference that, or just anything that would be pertinent to this particular applicant that you might want to plug in there, you would put that in there. So if you could indicate that, so, and there's nothing that you're aware of that would prohibit them from going forward. That was another component of that question. And then you have one of your last pages here to confirm one last time that this applicant is looking for $500,000 worth of benefit at 1%. Their standard premium would be $112.50 per month, and there are no additional riders or anything. And if you're happy with that, then you are submitting your completed application at that point. And in a minute, you will get in a policy number that's been already generated for that app. Give us another second here. And then you as the agent have the opportunity to follow this app then through the entire process. So if in fact this application may need us to pull medical records, you'll know that. You'll be able to tell if and when the medical records come in. You'll be able to see that. If there's anything missing, that'll be acknowledged as well. So here you go. So it's submitted. There's a policy number, and it's a successful submission.
That is seriously smoking technology, Linda.
How about that?
Fantastic. And I can tell you, having worked with our case manager here at AIM and untangled a lot of, let's just call them hieroglyphics on applications, the ability to make sure that all the fields, and most of the time it's fields that got missed, that all the fields are accounted for is gigantic. And that it will make your life easier, I can assure you of that. And also make your client's life easier. So fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
No, thanks for mentioning that. You know, and as I was mentioning, then you can look at all of the business and watch, you know, exactly. Here happens to be the pending business, just to give you a sense of what you'll see then on the portal. Each of the policies will be listed like this. The policy number. If there's any outstanding requirements, you'll have a copy of the policy.
Nice.
All of the information will be here. So, yeah, that was a really quick run through and trying to get a lot of information in a short period of time. And I'm glad I had a pre-filled app. It does go a little bit faster that way.
Yes, for sure. Well, that's from our perspective, let me just tell you folks, that that's a significant commitment to technology and a significant commitment to doing it right that LifeSecure's made. And I mean, we are appreciative of that, I know. And if you just take the time to start looking at it and working with it, the premium that you saw there is also smoking at about $113 a month for a $500,000 pool and a $5,000 monthly benefit. That's fantastic premium there. So we do have a question that popped in. Let's see here. Average underwriting time.
Oh, thank you for asking that question. Yeah, I really didn't touch on that. You know, because of our technology, and once we hit submit on an application, we're actually hitting on the MIB and the pharmacy data online real time. So a lot of times, if it's a younger person with a smaller bucket of money, we make an underwriting decision just from that information. But also, as you can well imagine, if we need an APS, we know we need it right away as well. So we're out in search of it very, very quickly. So currently, well, let me preface it by saying we had our fire sale right up until February 3rd. And we had a little bit of a backlog, but it's gone much smoother than we even anticipated it to go. We still have a lot of apps today currently going through, especially in the Worksheet simplified environment, in 4 to 7 business days. But our turnaround time is more like 15 to 20 business days now, which still we believe is phenomenal for the industry, even when we need an APS. So our goal is in that 15-day time frame, even when we need an APS. We're probably a little bit longer than that now. And of course, there are some outliers. You know, in certain parts of the country, we deal with Kaiser, and that's a difficult one to get records for. But for the most part, we're turning these things around real quickly.
Great, great. We did have one other question before, but by the time it came in, you had moved on. So I do want to circle back to it. When you're using the combination of the reimbursement and the cash, the question was the unused monthly benefit is lost.
No.
Correct. That's what I thought. Right.
Right. It stays in the bucket. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It just gives you more to draw later.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
All right. Well, good. Okay. Any other questions out there? Take a second here and unmute folks, and if we want to fire away, they can. Go ahead. Again, great job, Linda. Appreciate it. And as I was saying before, folks, this is smoking technology. It will make it a lot easier for you to work with your clients and get them through the system much more quickly. So any other questions out there this morning?
Can you give a quick overview of simplified worksite marketing or underwriting?
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. We never did get to that. There's just so much information in such a short period of time. We are still the only carrier that is going down to 3 lives for simplified underwriting. So 3 employees, but you must have an additional 2 spouses. So a total of 5 applications must be approved in that ultra small space. Simplified underwriting is basically the answering of 5, in some states 6 questions, the typical kill questions, if you will, must be answered no. And in addition, our current simplified is also looking now at height and weight and uninsurable meds. So we've changed it up just a little bit, but we certainly want to stay in this space. So it's the simplified, to answer your question, is the kill questions, the height and weight, and the uninsurable meds. And we can easily get you a underwriting guide. You can download one online, and then you'll have not only the uninsurable med list, but also the height and weight chart as well.
There you go. That's a great option in the small worksite space to be able to work with 3 employees. Significant. So, okay, good news. All right, any other questions out there this morning? All right, well, if anything pops up subsequent to the call here, we will wrap things up here shortly. You can send me an email at mike.anderson@whyam.com. I will get you a copy of the PowerPoint. Just send me a note on that you want a copy of it. We can get you any LifeSecure materials that you'd like, get you pointed in your home state or states where you have non-res licensure, and help you move forward with this product and this technology. Again, stuff that will make it really easy for you to help your clients out. So that said, we're going to circle one more time here for questions. And if we don't have any, we will wrap things up. Linda, thank you so much for making your time available. I know you got a lot of things going on, and we are very appreciative of that.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, folks. We'll talk to you soon.